The following video is sponsored by Skillshare. Stay tuned for a message later on in the video. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild sequel will likely have an even heavier emphasis on spirits of the deceased than the original, where the spiritual powers of the champions was a crucial point in the story and gameplay. It all ties to the luminous stones, and the text stemming out from the hand which is holding Ganondorf sealed deep on the ground. Is this energy created from malice, or energy that is being drained by, or more precisely consumed by malice, withering away until nothing is left? This is what we'll be exploring after the previous reveal this enemy present in the full version of Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. So be sure to leave a like and share this video, subscribe to support more videos like this one, and press the notification bell and again for all notifications to not miss future ones. So in Game Explain's preview of Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, we witnessed this peculiar enemy in the Zora's Domain stage in Chapter 2 after the demo concluded. An electric moblin, an enemy that was not present in The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Yes, we've had different shades of moblins, even gold ones, but not with a barrier with what appears to be text swirling around it. Could this just be an enemy added for the sake of having more enemies without adding a brand new shape or enemy type? Or is there something more that hides behind it? For one, elemental enemies in Age of Calamity seem to serve as a simple puzzle. And as we have seen from previews and also live streams, you can take advantage of their element by using the opposite which it is weak to. Fire to ice, lightning to water, ice to water, and so on. But then why do these special new enemies have a text barrier swirling around them? We're not going to jump straight to conclusions, but let's explore the thread tied to electricity, and more specifically what is the source of it in the Zelda series, and with it Breath of the Wild and Age of Calamity. Namely, Ganondorf, who has used electrical attacks resembling dark magic ever since our first encounter with him in The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Gerudo Chief Urbosa inherits the same shocking power through her fury. As such, it appears that energy in general is a theme here among the Gerudo, and has been since the tribe was first introduced in 1998. It is just that the Gerudo have barely been present in games since then, and hence this crucial detail about the tribe's fascination with the power of electricity and thunder was forgotten, when it actually has been there in front of us the entire time. But you know what other tribe has been accused of using dark magic? The mysterious Zonai, or distant past barbarians of the Faron province. And what is this province known for? Electric type enemies and cheap shock arrows. Electricity is a part of the culture of this province and also ties to the overall theme of energy, as Faron also hides the Spring of Courage, dedicated to the golden goddess Faror, the goddess of courage, life and spirits. All sources that represent the color green. Do you see the parallel? Electricity, life, spirits, which all culminate in the heavily underused and Breath of the Wild Faron province around the Spring of Courage. The only spring which wasn't extensively featured in the memories of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. What do all of these have in common, along with the virtue of courage? The color green, as we see in this barrier surrounding the electric moblin from Game Explain's Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity Chapter 2 preview. And what color dominates the reveal trailer of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2? Green. That of spirits and energy, and now the barrier possibly surrounding this electric moblin. You know what is also in the color green? Today's sponsor, Skillshare, the online community which will help you pursue your passions. Sharing is caring, and much like this green hand to Link, Skillshare is a helping hand to empower creative souls. Say you want to become a gaming YouTuber like me, then you need to learn video editing, and you can avoid my early struggles with classes by filmmaker Jordi Vanderput, who offers excellent beginner and more advanced classes on Premiere Pro, the editing software that we use. Want to add live action footage to it as well? Then Vimeo's Mark Sosimo has plenty of skills to share through his Creating Pro videos with tools you already own series. And that is the point with Skillshare, helping out beginners and experienced creators reach the next level. I, for instance, need to get better at basic animation in After Effects. Luckily, Jake Bartlett has me covered with his class. And there are plenty of others in different fields like photography, manga drawing, and many others. So use the link in the description below, as the first 1,000 of you will get a free trial of Skillshare Premium, and after that it is just $10 per month for the power of green, like the one of electric spirits in the Breath of the Wild saga. Well, that and its relation to Red Malice and Ganondorf, as we saw in the reveal of Breath of the Wild 2. Red Malice is a completely different topic, but no doubt it looks more and more likely that red and green are colors that are being foreshadowed in the reveal trailer and now in Age of Calamity, and which we will see plenty of in the conflict in Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. Very likely, the red of Din, power, Ganondorf and thus malice, and the green of furor, the hero, courage, life and spiritual and maybe even electrical energy could dominate at the expense of the blue of Nehru, wisdom, the royal family, and Sheikah energy and ancient technology. For more on this, check out this video by Monster Maze. Age of Calamity might foreshadow more of this incoming conflict for a number of different means, and now, as you have seen, we could have the first signs of an even greater Zelda universe on the construction for the sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Or maybe not, as me and Monster Maze discussed long regarding this new electric moblin, and we discovered a few differences. Namely, that this barrier surrounding the moblin could just be a particle effect. And in the case of electricity and this moblin, it is very fast moving, much like the general pace found in Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, while the spiritual energy withering away in Breath of the Wild sequel appears to do so much slower. In other words, these two could be separate, but at the same time, maybe not, as this is the reason why I brought the whole backtracking to the origin of the Gerudo, Urbosa, the golden goddess of courage furor, and the connection of electricity and spirits in Breath of the Wild, which both manifest a form of energy, or if you prefer, life force. All of this might turn out to be wrong, but what if electric and spiritual energy is connected in the world of Breath of the Wild? Then it might pose for one of the absolutely greatest elements and powers found in the sequel to Breath of the Wild. We also don't know if both Malice and Green whether electric or spiritual energy ties to ancient Sheikah technology, and more specifically, the energy powering it. This might be a stretch, but have you noticed that the whole spiritual element of Breath of the Wild heavily resembles one of the core elements of Final Fantasy VII, namely the lifestream, an essence, or literally blood of the planet where Final Fantasy VII takes place, and which is also found within all living beings until they pass away, upon which that energy returns back to the lifestream or the planet. Much like the rumored spirit energy of the Luminous Stones in Breath of the Wild. But here's the kicker, the lifestream is then extracted and refined to become Mako energy by the Shinra Corporation, which in the world of Final Fantasy VII is used to fuel all kinds of technology. Sounds very familiar to what could be the case for refined Sheikah technology, which consumes energy, and the best example of it is none other than the Master Cycle Zero from DLC 2 Champion's Ballad, which can be fueled with all kinds of materials and turning it into blue fuel for the ancient masterpiece of the ancient Sheikah tribe. We know that the Sheikah energy and technology is weak to the imprisoned Ganondorf's malice, as it can be corrupted and possessed. But how? Maybe because it is all part of a thread. Malice energy extraction to create spiritual energy, which is again refined to Sheikah energy, which powers Sheikah technology. In other words, the plot thickens for The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, which might be themed on energy, but differently than what we saw in The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Naturally, we will likely not get any answers to this theory until The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild sequels comes out, as these kind of questions seems to be a little bit too deep and out of the realm of war to be tackled in a Warriors title, which per definition is a side game supplementing the Legend of Zelda games. But we'll see. Anyway, we want to see your opinion on this important matter in the comment section down below. And we also would greatly appreciate if you could press that like button and share this video so more people can see it. Also, if you haven't already, turn that red subscribe button grey and press the notification bell to not miss what could become a follow-up video to this one after Age of Calamity is out. Well, that is, if we get more details on said matters. We would also like to inform you that there will be a little break from Breath of the Wild 2 videos for around 2 weeks from the upload date of this one due to the release of Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. Our coverage plans for the game are extensive, but naturally we need to be able to finish its main quest first before we can provide in-depth videos dissecting the game and what it means for the future of the Legend of Zelda series. A big thanks as always goes to all our great patrons on patreon.com/commonrealm, and in particular to royal producer Charles Shash. Anyway, please enjoy one or both of these two awesome videos.